welcome to the Crafty Contemplations Knitting Podcast. Hi, I'm Val. This is the Crafty Contemplations Knitting and Creative Podcast. And I am catching the New Year's buzz, and I am coming at you today with a 2025 knitting plans podcast. So no plans podcast would be complete, in my opinion, without a quick recap. So I will share with you my 2024 makes real quickly. These were the 6 main projects that I completed in 2024. All right, so these are, in order, the feather sweater, the Hollyberry Tee, the Sea View Cami, the Tolsta tank, the Obsidian sweater, and the Mount Kailash wrap. I did complete a couple other things in 2024. There were some socks that I made for my sister for Christmas. I also made a couple things that I sold or gifted. So I did a couple other things, but these are what I'm calling my main makes. These are the ones that I'm keeping. These were the ones that were successful, all that jazz. So I figured that since I completed 6 projects last year, I wanted to start with 6 projects for this coming year. And I'm not limiting myself to these, but these are going to be my main makes, right? So these are going to be like my starting point projects. I want to cast these on first. And then if there's something else that comes up along the way for whatever reason, I'm certainly open to that. But for all but one of these, I already have the yarn for them. I already have the pattern for them. So I want them to go on my needles in 2025. That being said, I have several works left over. I have several works in progress left over from 2024. So I am going to try to make some progress on those first. And then as I kind of start getting that cast on itch, I will, like I said, come over to these, any of these 6 patterns first. So the first pattern, and these are in no particular order, but the first pattern that I'll share with you is the Leith cardigan, and this is by the Creabea, Rebecca Clow. So I have been sitting on this pattern for what feels like a while. The few podcasters that I do follow, there's always like a lot of hype leading up to the pattern. So I feel like I'm hearing about it for a long time. I'm seeing the pattern launch. Sometimes I'm purchasing the pattern at the pattern launch, and then I start to see like everybody's FOs, but I feel like I'm always like several projects behind being able to like cast on something new. So I've been sitting on this one for a while. I'm really excited to actually give it a go. I have not, I don't think so. I do not have any knitted cardigans. So this will be the first cardigan that I have knit, which I am very excited about. I think it's going to be super wearable. I'm like a reptile. I apparently do not have very good homeostasis. So I am, always cold at home. I'm always cold at work. So it's nice to have something that I feel like is a little bit elevated because of, the time and effort and attention to detail that I've put into it, that can become a part of my everyday wardrobe. So without further ado, the pattern is written for Cascade 220, and that is the yarn that I have decided to use for my version of the Leith cardigan. The main feature of the Leith is the striping, and it is done with the intarsia technique, especially through that back panel, which will be a new technique for me, but I'm not worried. But I have these 3 colors picked out for my Leith. So let me bring them a little bit closer. Oh, this one is like blending into the sleeve that I'm wearing right now. So this is Cascade 220. The cream color is just natural. So I don't remember off the top of my head if it's dyed or undyed, but the colorway is called natural. Um, the purple color is called crushed grapes. And the burnt orange, very deep burnt orange, is called Japanese maple. I have been all about the orange and purple combination lately. I don't know what it is, but this particular combination has just been it's been with me for a while. So I am really, really excited. I've had this vision of, doing this with this cardigan for, like I said, quite some time. So I am very, very excited. Now, I mainly purchase yarn online. Um, I do have a couple local yarn stores, but like the nearest local yarn store is basically like a 45-minute drive for me. So although I have gone and although I support, um, it's just not, you know, with being a teacher, with having a toddler, um, it's just not necessarily always easy for me to actually get out to the store. So I ended up purchasing from Wool and Company, which this is the first time that I've used them, but they were great. They, they provided like quick shipping. They did a nice shipping update. Like it was great, very smooth, no issues. Um, the only problem is, obviously, when you're purchasing online, colors can be a little difficult. So I knew how dark that purple was going to be. Um, the the burnt orange, the Japanese maple, did look a little bit lighter to me. So I I'm not mad at all. I'm very, very happy. Um, I just realized that my mic is not on. Okay. um, so anyway, I think that online, I think this is something good for me to know, like in the future. I think that online, if anything, the colors might be a little darker than what they look like online. Just because when, um, like, I'm just thinking of like my own process, right? Like if I'm photographing something, I'm making sure like the lighting is really strong, the lighting is really bright, all of that stuff. So I think if anything, like in the future, I need to just keep in mind that what I see on the screen is probably going to be a little bit darker in person. Maybe that's not the rule. Maybe it's just always hit or miss. In any case. So, because these are a little bit darker than what I originally thought, I'm very, very happy that the striping calls for that cream color in the middle, right? So, the way that I'm going to stripe this is like one panel of the purple and cream, and then the second panel is going to be the cream and burnt orange, and then the sleeves are going to switch, so they're going to be the other way. So the purple panel will be here, the orange sleeve will be here, the orange panel will be here, and the purple sleeve will be here. So essentially what I'm saying is if these colors had to go next to each other, I think that could have been a little bit problematic. But since they will always have the cream in between them, I think it's going to work out perfectly. So very excited to cast on the Leith cardigan by the Creabea. The next pattern that I am looking forward to is also a Creabea pattern, and this is the Cara wrap. I have been eyeing wrap patterns. There are a couple others that I looked at, and to be honest, there are a couple others that I probably will also knit in the future. I wear a lot of dresses, so having a wrap cardigan to tie on top honestly makes a lot of sense for me. I'm also a millennial who does high-waisted pants. So having a wrap cardigan, I think, is going to be fantastic. And I think that this particular one is great because it's so straightforward. And the reason why I love that for the yarn I've chosen is because I do have a variegated yarn. So the yarn that I have picked for the Cara wrap is Malabrigo Rios in Archangel. So again, we're going back to this like purple and orange combo. This is the same colorway that I have used previously. I did my Mount Kailash wrap in the colorway Archangel as well. So I am so excited about this. Malabrigo does not have any dye lots. So the colorways, like the skeins, are not necessarily going to match. So I do think that I need to be very careful with this, and I am planning on alternating skeins with this. So with all that being said, obviously this is, there's a lot going on with the colors in this. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm super excited about it, but I am really glad to use it on just a very straightforward, like mainly stockinette pattern. I think it's going to look perfect. So I am really excited to cast on the Cara wrap by the Creabea. Right. The third pattern that I am planning on making is the Lace Hem Tee by Carina Spencer. This is a fingering weight garment. I love, love, love the lace detail at the bottom of the hem. And I really like the contrast, the way that they've done the body in the main color, and then they've done that contrast color just happening there at the hem. So the yarn that I have chosen is number one, Cascade Heritage in the colorway Moss. And number two, for the accent color, I've gone with Malabrigo Sock in the colorway Diana. So I really, really like the way that these colors look together. There is definitely some of that same mossy green through here, but with all the other variation, the fuchsias, the yellow, I think it's just going to look really, really cool to have that as an accent color just around the lace hem of the tee. I've seen some other projects on Ravelry, like other people who have knitted this, and I've seen them do some like additions with the contrast color. So I saw one where they had the neckline done in the accent color, and they also did some accents. I think this is written in the original pattern, but they also had some accent colors around the wrist. I can't remember now off the top of my head. But I might do that for mine as well. So I might take my accent color and I might do some more detailing basically on like all the edges. So the neck, the hem, where it's originally called for in the pattern, and maybe even for the cuffs as well. So we'll see. But I absolutely love the way that pattern looks. And I'm really excited about that one. All right, pattern number 4. So the next pattern on my list is Ursa by Jaq Cieslak. This is like a tried and true, right? Like I know it's a classic. So I'm just excited to kind of get in there and get that going. So the pattern calls for a bulky. I have, where did it go? I have Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in bulky, and this is the colorway Currant. It's a little bit more burgundy than like the truer purple that I'm using before, but I'm definitely like sticking with these kind of like purple and orange colorways here. Well, no, that's not true. The green is definitely definitely departing from that. But in any case, I guess what I'm saying is I have some colors that I like to use over and over again. So I'm really excited for the Ursa by Jaq Cieslak. Number 5 on my list. This is the only one that I don't have yarn set aside for yet. So number 5 on my knitting plans is the Rivendell Pullover by Sari Nordland. This pattern is written in DK. I love the texture on this sweater. number one, huge fan of seed stitch or moss stitch, whatever you call it. I just love it. I think it's like, it just feels so good, so squishy. Absolutely all about that. And then I just think the cables, the way that they run down the sleeve and just frame the V-neck of the sweater, it just immediately struck me as soon as I saw it. So again, it's another one I've been sitting on for a little while now. This one's written for DK. I do not have any yarn set aside for it, or really any yarn in mind for it. I have some like Lion Brand Superwash that would work. You know, it's DK and everything, but it's like a deeper purple color. And so I'm not sure about that for this pattern, because I'm afraid the texture might get a little lost in such, in such a deep color. So I'm really not sure. I don't have like a huge stash or anything to like go diving in. So I think this might be one where I just kind of have to like think about what I want, maybe look at some more of the projects in Ravelry to see what other people have used. And then just go in like with that in mind to make another purchase at some point during the year. So something to look forward to. Right. And last but not least, the sixth pattern that I have on deck for 2025 is the Emmanuel Tee. And this is by Johanna Garish. This pattern is on Ravelry, but it is also free on Hobby. So I'll put both links down below. I picked up the PDF copy from Hobby or Hobie's website. I've never knitted anything from this designer before, but I know Johanna has a really good reputation. So I'm excited to try one of her patterns. I love the lace detail, and I think it's just so special that it goes down the back of this particular shirt. So I'm excited about that. I have a bargain yarn for this one. So this is Silky Soft. It is a rayon from bamboo fiber. And this is Loops and Threads, which is Michael's brand. So just like a box store yarn. It's one of those things that I found on sale. So I'm an art teacher. I'm a classroom teacher. I teach high school art. And so I do find myself in like Michael's or Joann's like fairly frequently, sometimes even just to pick something up for school. So I think that this was one of those situations where I was in the store for something else, and I can never go in without walking through the yarn aisles. So I happened to notice that this was on sale for like something ridiculous, and there were enough. So I grabbed them all, and I am going to use this for my Emmanuel Tee by Johanna Garish. And those are my 6 main make plans for 2025. I'm really excited to just be a little bit more intentional about like planning out my knits, because I think the best thing is like when I have something finished, then I have some options to choose from for what I want to cast on. That way I'm not like kind of wasting time going down, the Ravelry rabbit holes, or, wasting time like, scrolling Pinterest or anything like that. So I've had these in mind for a long time. I've been sitting on them. I have all of the patterns ready to go. I have all of the yarn ready to go, except for one. So if anybody has knit the Rivendell Pullover by Sari Nordland, and you have any suggestions, I would be more than happy to hear them. I have, kind of like just in my own mind, I kind of try to go back and forth between like the nicer yarns, the bargain yarns, just to keep things affordable. So I'm open to either really for this particular pullover. It's one that I've been waiting for, for a long time. So I'm really excited to do it. I just need to figure out what the yarn is going to be. All right, so let me know what's first on your list for 2025. Really excited to get a couple of those last whips out of the way and start on my 6 projects that I have on deck for 2025. Thanks for watching.